West Ham World. It's Luke here, and some news overnight from Fabrizio Romano, the super in the know, shall we call him. He has come out and said, I think we half knew this. We knew he was sort of up for sale. We knew he was a bit of out of favour with Potter. That Edson Alvarez is likely to leave West Ham before the end of the transfer window. Like I say, I think we sort of half knew about this. We sort of knew if it was sort of him and a Gerd, wasn't it? That after Kudus, it was him and a Gerd that were probably the most sellable assets. But a Gerd has come back into favour and has been liked in pre-season, and he seems a bit more settled back at West Ham. But Alvarez looks like he might be the one that will go. It's interesting, like I say, we haven't seen really any of him in pre-season. I know he was away with Mexico, player of the tournament, won the tournament, scored goals in the tournament. I've always liked him as a player. I think he's quite forward-thinking at times as well. Can be a bit hot-headed. I'm not going to deny that. But yeah, it's a shame because, like I say, the midfield I would have liked to have seen start tomorrow is Alvarez, Potts and Paqueta. If Alvarez is on his way out, obviously we're not going to see him. There are all the rumours from the club and, you know, the usual sources. They didn't specifically name Alvarez, but it was there for people to put two and two together. And whether you believe it or not is a different story. About that there's been certain players that have annoyed Potter in pre-season, turning up late for training, turning up late for meetings and stuff. And they've been punished with not being able to play in pre-season, and people have been putting two together and saying that it's Alvarez because he hasn't really featured in many of the games or any of the games. I don't think. Did he come on in one game? I can't fully remember, to be honest with you. I think we'll get okay money for him. I think his value and his reputation is quite good at the moment. Obviously, coming off the back of the Mexico thing, there would be clubs looking at him. You know, he is a decent player. He is a good player. I don't know what sort of money we'd be getting for him, though. I don't know what you guys think, but I think we should be at least looking for 30 million for him. You know, he's still young. He's been player of the tournament, like I say. Can score goals. He's had a couple of years in the Premier League now. Shown what he can do. Yeah, I'd be looking probably for at least 30 million for him. Then that would free up funds for Fernandez, Kaulu. I can't pronounce this geezer's name, the geezer from Lille. And maybe we would be able to get two in because there is money there. There is some money there. You know, by all accounts, there was, you know, we could have spent about 90 million without Kudus sale, I think it was. And now, you know, we've brought in the goalkeeper and stuff like that. So, yeah, like I say, I'm a bit disappointed. Alvarez going, I have to say, like, I do like him. I do. I think there's captain material there. He's a good leader of men. It just, like I say, it just hasn't worked out, and I don't think Potter trusts him with his passing because he can. You know, he does want to look forward. He does want to try and get the attack going, and Potter would rather someone just like Ward-Prowse, just get the ball, tappy, recycle, be like a bouncing wall. And that's not what Alvarez is. Alvarez is direct and wants to go forward, you know, that Ajax, you know, style of play that him and Kudus had. But yeah, if we get decent money for him, then okay, you know, then okay. But it's not great, but decent money and you get Fernandez in or El Canus and someone. But if he goes, I want two midfielders. I don't just want Fernandez in or whatever one we end up with, El Canus, Kalu, Onyedika, whatever one. We need two of them. We need two. Just in case as well, Paqueta goes at the end of the window. There's no guarantee he stays. There's no guarantee that Lucas Paqueta stays. You know, it could be that it rolls on, and then City decide, oh, boom, we need him. Or a big injury happens in the first couple of weeks of the season in one of these big clubs, and they go, oh, do you know what, Lucas Paqueta, we can get him out of West Ham for a certain amount of money. you know, there's all these little things that could happen. On other news, Gonzo done a great video about it. The West Ham have lent something like 200 odd million from a rights and media thing, I think it was, which is quite worrying. It's quite worrying, and doing a little bit of research. This is what Everton borrowed. This is who Everton borrowed about from a few years ago that got them on the brink of like administration and, you know, rights issues with PSR. It's worrying. It's a little bit worrying that, especially if we don't start spending some money, and you just think, well, what's happening with the money? Why have we got to borrow? And as Gonzo said, we've got 3 billionaires, and if you count the gold funds as well, you know, 3 billionaires and a half a billionaire, and none of them are willing to invest any money in the club, to not for transfers or whatever, just to so we don't have to borrow. Why are we not borrowing off? Why they're not borrowing off themselves with no interest? It doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. Like I say, I'm not a financial expert by any stretch of the imagination. But the fact, you know, we've got the credit card, you know, for against next season's money, and we've borrowed more money. I don't know. It screams of people that don't want to put any money in. They'll just borrow money and hope that someone takes over and clears the debt. So I don't know. Again, I don't know. I don't know. Get your questions in, guys. Robert Singleton says he's going for a 3-1 to West Ham tomorrow. I hope so, mate. Will be good. Will be good to get off to a good start and scoring goals. Done my preview. Go check that out, guys, if you haven't already. Andy Imp says asset stripping. Possibly, mate. Possibly. It's against the mortgage. Again, this loan is against our mortgages. I think it's our mortgages on properties like Chebwheath, Rush Green. There was another one, and Beckton, if you know, the one near sort of near Asda, that sort of area in Beckton. My boys in my school sometimes go there to play football tournaments over there. It's like I say, we haven't really got any assets. McAllister says, didn't we borrow 150 million off Barclays? Well, yeah, just said that, mate. You know, the credit card, 150 million off Barclays against next season's income, because when you go down, you get roughly that sort of amount, about 145 million, so it would be covered. You know, it's like, so we're okay. Which, again, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on at West Ham at the minute. I really don't know. That we're in a real stagnant place, aren't we, with the ownership? We've been there for a long time, but it really seems like they're just not interested, or the years of poor investment has finally caught up with us. You know, it is finally caught up with us. The years of poor buying and poor selling. People like Felipe Anderson, Scamacca's, Hallah's. And again, I don't think these would add players. I think Hollah was a good player. I think Scamacca could have been a really good player. But we sold them so cheap. We bent over backwards and sold these players so cheap. Even like your Payets, you know, 25 million at the time. Listen, Dimitri Payet at the time was a bloody 50, 60, 70, 80, maybe even 80 million pound player. He was one of the best players in the world at the time. Cagliari's, Torre, Nordveit's, Arbeloa's, you know, all these players on big money and big wages that we can't get rid of. Danny Ings and stuff, you know, it's caught up with us, and now, you know, they're struggling to get players in, and it'll probably be the same with like a Josh Brownhill that comes in on really big money, big signing on fee. Yeah, it's catching up. It's catching up with us, guys. What do you think the link to Charles from Sheffield Wednesday? I can't say I've seen that one, mate. What is he? What sort of player is he? What position? I can't say I've seen that, mate. What is it being spent on? I don't know, mate. Again, that's another. If we've borrowed whatever it is, 200 odd million plus the 150 million, and we don't go and now get Fernandez and Onyedika, or Fernandez and Kalu, or Fernandez and what's his name? El Khanous, and maybe another one. Imagine Alvarez goes as well. You're thinking, well, what's the money for? You know. How much would you honestly guess we're worth, Luke? Well, considering we don't own a ground, we haven't really got massive assets in terms of players. Maybe like your Bowen's worth, 100 million. What else you got? You got the properties, Rush Green and Chabweath and all that stuff. That puts it about, what, 600, 700 million? I don't know. I can't say I can pluck prices out the air and stuff, but we're definitely not worth what they thought we were worth. I'd say, between 5 to 600 million because of what it could be. Although we don't own that land, I imagine Saudi investors or really rich, incredibly rich people would be interested in buying that land one day. And someone like, let's pretend we had the Newcastle owners, could go and buy West Ham's land and make an absolute fortune. That land is worth a fortune. We don't own it, but potential owners could. Probably someone like Kredinsky, and definitely not Sullivan, has not got the amount of money to proper buy that land, build flats or build bars, hotels or whatever. So yeah, that's why it's got the potential earnings. Like if you get plans on your house, I don't know if you guys know this. So if you get, my mate's just got his extension. He gets extension done in his back garden. So just by getting the plans that were worth about $3,000, having those plans puts your property up by about 25, 30 grand, just because you've got those plans. Same as if you've got your loft plans or whatever, it puts money on because you've got those plans. So if you're thinking as an investor buying West Ham, okay, you don't own the stadium, you own all those little properties like Rush Green. They've probably got properties in Canary Wharf as well that are linked to the club that we put our players in. I don't know whether that would be part of it, but the potential there is massive, massive, and that's what they're selling or trying to sell. Sully Super Injunction must be getting very expensive. Yes, allegedly. Think we got 145 million overdraft. Yeah, we have, mate. Yeah, but that's apparently so, mate. Keeper. Morning, Charles is keeper. Can't say I've seen it, mate. I can't say I've seen it. The only way I see him coming in is if Areola goes, because obviously you would expect Mads Hermanusson to eventually be the starter, in a few weeks' time. And Areola might get frustrated, and he's on big wages, though. Areola, big wage. I like Areola, though. I hope he stays. Big part of our European Cup win. The owners are also allowed to inject their money. Yeah, apparently about 90 million, mate, we're allowed to inject in. Why they're not doing that, we all know why. They don't want to spend a penny. They don't want to. I think they've been wanting to sell for a long time, but COVID killed it. These PSR and financial fair play things have killed sales, because you only have to look at like someone like Newcastle or whatever. I know I always mention them, but you've got owners there that would, if they were allowed, go and blow £500-600 million on players. Easy. They would go and do that, but they're not allowed to. So there's no real attraction for these billionaire playboys anymore, like when Roman used to own Chelsea and stuff like that, and they'd just go bah, 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 billionaire, playing Championship manager in real life. And I think some of them now think, I'll go down to the, League Ones and League Twos or Championship like, Tom Brady's and Ryan Reynolds and people like that, and have more fun down there doing that project, And it's slightly cheaper than what it would be to come and take West Ham and try and... Because the next level for West Ham is consistently being Europa League, or really trying to be where like teams like Villa are and Newcastle are and Tottenham's, really flirting around that top 5, top 4 positions. That is what West Ham would need, what new owners would have to do to get us there. Where if you're going to a Wrexham and a Birmingham, it's get us up to Championship, get us into the Prem, try and survive for a few years. Your fans that live the dreams, your heroes. It's a lot harder doing it at West Ham. Hello, mate, everyone, come on, you irons. So where is Alvarez going? I don't know, mate. I don't know. I see a few Man United fans commenting on the Romano. So obviously when Romano tweeted it, I always like have a look, see what sort of fans are commenting. Man United fans saying they wouldn't mind him. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes to La Liga or somewhere like that. But we've got to be strong. We've got to be strong with our feet. Okay, we want to sell him. Potter wants to sell him, but not cheap. Not cheap. He's young. Like I say, player of the tournament. Got a good reputation at the minute. He stocks high. At least 30. At least. Dad says, morning, mate. Morning to you, mate. Russie B said, Paris FC are looking at Areola. Yeah, that's obviously not Paris Saint-Germain. There's a team called Paris FC as well. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen, mate? I think a lot of things could happen very quickly. I think it can be slow, and then things just go boom, 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 like Isak. If Isak goes, that will spark something with Newcastle, then Villa, etc., etc. Obviously, like Villa have just sold Ramsey to Newcastle. Will they be looking for someone? Douglas Luiz still hasn't got a club. Harvey Elliott still hasn't gone yet to RB Leipzig. Who knows? There was flirty rumours with that. I think X put that out yesterday, saying that West Ham is still looking. I don't fully believe it, and that's not against X. I just think that's what the club's put out, and I don't fully believe it. Would love Harvey Elliott, but again, I think they spout these rumours out to get us excited, and then nothing comes of it. El Kanu still hasn't got a club. Fernandez wants to leave Southampton. We've got to go and make that deal happen. We have. I wouldn't pay more than 40, if I'm honest with you. But we'll wait and see. I think something will happen, but I reckon we'll be waiting a little bit longer. We'll be waiting just a little bit longer. I'd be selling James Ward-Prowse, Soucek, Guido, and before I think a lot of people were with you there, mate. I think most people would do that, Brian. Definitely Ward-Prowse. Vice captain there, though, isn't he? But a few people have made the point, couple of times people have been made vice captain and then they've been put out on loan and stuff like that. Someone said that Lopetegui put Ward-Prowse as vice captain and then he was loaned straight out. I know he was loaned out, but is there any truth? Was he put as vice captain or was it Kilman? That doesn't ring a bell with me. What's happening to Emerson? Another one, mate. Another one who, who's got probably a decent-ish price on him. I like Emerson, man. Best player in the final. Been a great signing for us. If he doesn't want to be there anymore and he wants to, have his little sort of retirement fund, good luck to him. He's a West Ham hero now. He is massive part of why we won that Conference League. Good luck to him. I think Irvine will go as well. So if I had to say the three that I can see leaving West Ham before the window, it's Alvarez looks like he does he's surplus to requirements by Potter, not me personally. Emerson has not played any part in pre-season or anything like that. And probably Irvine. Obviously, you still got a few floaty ones there, like Rodriguez could go, Cornet, Areola, if you're saying Areola. Apart from that, don't think much else will go. I'll be honest with you. Don't think much else will go. People keep saying sell James Ward-Prowse, who Ward-Prowse, who would take him for 150 grand a week. It's true, mate. We offer out these ridiculous contracts to players who was not deemed good enough. Let's remember, he went out on loan, couldn't get in a Forest team, and he come back to West Ham. Let's think about that. But yeah, ridiculous amount of money. Wherever he goes, we'll have to subsidise some of his salary. Because that's what happens. I think if you sell a player for, I don't know, a couple of million, whatever, or even 20 million, but the other club offer him 80 grand, West Ham would have to cover to make it up to the 115 grand a week. That's just, I think that's how it works in football. If Fernandez is so good, where are rival bids? Only West Ham overpay for players when there are no rival bids. It's a good point, mate. It's a valid point. It is a valid point. again, are Southampton doing what Sullivan does? There's loads of teams interested, or blah 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 blah. Getting rumours out to try and force West Ham to bid higher. He is like that. He is a good player. He is a good player. There is a really really good player in there. He is slightly raw. You've got to remember he's only 21, but there is a really good player in there. But again, is it a case of the other clubs are waiting to see what sort of offer gets accepted, and then they come in and gazump us and kill us? What we got? Brian P. Would be great if we got Douglas Luiz. Surprised he hasn't been snapped up. Mate, I want him, mate. I keep saying about him. He hasn't got a club yet. Yeah, he's got a little bit of an attitude. Yes, there is a little bit there. But I like it. I like that. He was fantastic for Aston Villa. Aston Villa didn't want to sell him. They had to sell him at the time because of PSR issues to Juventus. We all know who his little bird is as well. Alicia Lehmann, former West Ham women's team. I think they're still together. Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be a great sign. I think it would keep Paqueta here as well. Like, again, he doesn't want the blow accounts. He's not looking for a move. But I think if you bring him in, you got him, you got Guilherme, you got that nice Brazilian quartet of players that will get on, and if he gets on with him. I'm not just saying because he's Brazilian he will get on with him. He could absolutely hate him. But it would definitely, make him feel hopefully someone he can connect with. It seems like he's got a really good relationship with Guilherme Paqueta. Like he looks at him like he's his little brother or whatever. So you get Douglas Luiz in that mix as well. You've got 3 Brazilians, and hopefully you get that sort of partnership that Paqueta and Bruno Guimaraes had at Lyon. Because when they say Newcastle's linked to Paqueta, that's when I worry a little bit. I do worry because I think Bruno gets on the phone. Come on, come up here. Be a hero with me. We can be like we was at Lyon. They're the one team I do worry about. Man City maybe just purely because they've got the funds. We know Pep likes him, but Newcastle, I think if they put in a decent offer for him, I think he would go. Can you make that midfield? Joe Linton, Paqueta, Tonali and Guimaraes. Whew, Jesus, what a midfield that would be. But let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that don't happen. Any other news, guys? Anything else or any questions you want to ask or any topics you want covered? Get them in. As you can see, I do read every single comment that's put out there. I'm trying to get hold of the third shirt. I'm not prepared to pay 75 quid for it. That's an absolute joke. 75 quid. I'd get myself a decent Ralph Lauren for that. Yeah, obviously the season starts tonight as well. Really excited. Really excited. Bournemouth Liverpool tonight. Get the easiest of sitting before we play. There's, like I say, fantastic games today. Fantastic games. If Rodgers goes to Newcastle, hopefully that ends the interesting pack. Obviously it's Ramsey, not Rodgers. Can't see Aston Villa selling Rodgers, mate. Jesus Christ, what a player he is. Top player, Rodgers. Yeah, Ramsey's going there, mate, not Rodgers. John says, hi Luke. These strange loans are concerning me. Yeah, mate, I discussed that a little bit earlier. Very worrying. Very worrying, the loan situation. Again, more will probably come to light in a few months' time or a few weeks' time. But hopefully, our nervousness is not that bad. It proves to be nothing, and it's not that big a deal. And, we don't have to sell Bowen next season or whatever. What we got here? Paqueta was back to normal self against Lille. He gives the ball away way too much. I would sell. Moyes was right, sticking him on the wing. I don't know if you, mate. It's not a controversial opinion that at all. A lot of fans think that. But you also have to say, if he doesn't, take the risk to play that killer pass, no one would in that team. Yeah, it gives the ball away. Yeah, it can be frustrating. Yeah, sometimes it gives it away in really dangerous areas. But he's the only one who wants to play the ball forward. If you had, you could have amazing passing stats. Ward-Prowse never gives the ball away. You can have 3 Ward-Prowses in there, mate. Pass. Would never happen. Would never ever get up the field. And I know you said there no assists last season, and that is true. That's true. It's evidence. It's valid. But this man was playing with all that, sadness in his head. I don't think his head was fully right. Listen, give him 5-6 games. 5-6 games. Get up to speed. Let's see what happens. It's hard. It's hard for a player like him when there's no one running. No one really runs on in West Ham. You got Wan-Bissaka, Diouf that bomb on a bit, but there's no one like moving and moving. Like when he first was at West Ham, you had Bowen. Bowen even used to say he knew he'd make that run and Paqueta would find him every time that first season. So hopefully we get a bit more of that back. We'll see. McAllister said, "Did I hear James Ward-Prowse is vice captain?" No, you did, mate. You heard that right. Sadly, that is the case. Mark Noble made a career playing like James Ward-Prowse. You need a ticker. You do, mate. You do need someone like that, but you also need someone who does a bit more with it as well. We've got, I think Potts can be the ticker. Potts don't give the ball away, and he's got a bit more mobility, probably better in the tackle as well. You got Ward-Prowse, and if you had, you got Potts in there. If you put another, quite physical, mobile midfielder in there next to him, then Paqueta's free to sort of do what he wants and make those mistakes. Ward-Prowse has not got the athletic ability to, and he's not Mark. Mark was passion and kicking people up in the air and shouting at people. Ward-Prowse ain't that. Ward-Prowse is an okay player. He's a decent level Premier League player, but we can do better than that. We can do better. Paqueta had an investigation hanging over his head for 2 years. He's still one of our most creative players. He is. Who else? If you take Paqueta out of that team, who else? Diouf can provide. He looks like he's going to get a few assists this year, Diouf. But you've got to have someone. Who can unlock that pass and unlock that defence. Again, he didn't get an assist last year. And I appreciate that comment. I totally appreciate that comment. But I think it will come back. If you take him out, you're going to have Soucek, Ward-Prowse and Potts. Potts I love as a player, very young, still, learning his game. Will get more and more confident, hopefully, as the games go on. Like we see with Declan, over the years, got more and more confident. He started, really. I hope he goes on to be, maybe not as good as Declan, but definitely, near that sort of, where he himself can take games by the scruff of the neck and try and do things for us. Hopefully, Potts can do that as it gets on. Ward-Prowse is not going to be the assist merchant, and Soucek gets goals. That's the only other thing I can think. What was the other thing I wanted to say? I did like that Kante though for the youth team. Who see him? Did you see him? Jesus Christ, what a player he looks like. What a player. Ferran as well, again. Some lovely clips of him in the week, like just little touches and elegance on the ball. But that Kante, he looks good. He looks very good. Get El Nesri in? No, mate. It's not 5 years ago. No thanks. You need 2 players around Paqueta to free him up. Yeah, that's exactly it. The famous Payet, again, Payet was different level. I'm not comparing Payet to Paqueta. I'm not comparing it because Payet was elite, like ridiculous. But Mark Noble always says, he used to say to Dimmy, do what you want, mate. We'll do your running. Him and the other midfielder next to him at the time. And I think that's what you got to do with Paqueta a little bit. You got to sort of let him have a little bit of freedom in there and let him sort of move about and do what he wants, Where are we? A destroyer and a player with legs, definitely, mate. It's a Diami, it's a Chiarte, it's them sort of players of Mark Vivian Foe. That's the sort of player West Ham are really lacking. That's what Douglas Luiz could potentially offer. We still need 1 more. I think we need 2 more, mate. I'll be honest with you. I think we need 2 more. Apparently, Ferran is the nutmeg king in training. Yeah, he looks special, very special. Hopefully, we see him. I don't know whether Potter takes the cup game seriously, but hopefully, we see maybe a little cameo in the Wolves game in the cup. Obviously, we drew them as well. Ridiculous the way the draw is done now. Paqueta owes the club. He better step up. Yeah, he does. He does, mate. He does. He owes us some good performances now. We've stuck by him. Yeah, but mate, I'm not arguing with you at all. Like I say, your point's valid. Your points are valid. I'm just giving the argument of what other people are saying as well. But yeah, I appreciate your comment, mate. Alford looks like our most gifted youngster for me. Yeah, he's really elegant on the ball, and he just looks really good. Again, I'd like to see. I think with Alford, I'd like to see him do what Potts did, though. I think I'd like to see him go out for a year in the Championship, and really, go and win Player of the Season wherever. I can't be club at the top here. Let's say Wrexham. I don't know. Go and win Player of the Season somewhere. Come back next season. You got to think Paqueta will go next season. Probably Ward-Prowse, Soucek or whatever will go next season. And then there could be a space in there. Potts could be really well established in the team by then. And then you're thinking, you got Alford. You got George Murphy as well, who I really like. Carlos Packer has been linked again. Surely not. We're going back to 2016 when Lacazette and Carlos Packer was coming in. That window, mate, genuinely, that window is the biggest flop window that West Ham had. That opportunity before anyone had gone in that stadium, anyone had seen all the mistakes, the trampolines, the poor seating, how far away we were from the pitch. We had come off a ridiculously good season as well. We had money to spend, and we flopped. We absolutely flopped it. That was when we were a club that were like, come to us, we're going into this beautiful new stadium, we're back in Europe, we've got one of the best players in the world in Dimitri Payet. We messed it up. We will never, ever, unless we've got Champions League football, get that opportunity again. We will never, ever get that opportunity again to be that attractive without anyone knowing the facts. Alvarez has to leave, in my opinion. Apparently, he is going to go, mate. Potentially a swap deal with Atletico Madrid involving Conor Gallagher. That would be a great deal, mate. I love Conor Gallagher. I think we should have signed him when we had the chance. But no, we didn't. But yeah, I think I don't know what how liked Conor Gallagher is over there, mate. So I can't say yes or no. I miss the trampolines, the highlight of that stadium. Ariola can leave. 120 grand a week to sit on the bench. Can't play to Potter style. Yeah, it's a lot of dough, mate. It is a lot of dough. Any Italians coming? Obviously, there is that link to Pellegrini, I think his name was, from Roma. I think that's where he's from, Roma, for 17 million. Midfielder. Ain't going away. It's one of them rumours that, floating around there. Who knows? Who knows, mate? But yeah, there was another one, an Italian, but I can't remember who it was. But Pellegrini's the name that keeps coming up. Looking forward to the end of the transfer window. 95% of rumours are rubbish. They are, mate. They are. They're just lazy journalism or names put out there to smoke and mirror other names. The quicker it's over, the better. But I want 2 midfielders in, or at least one really, really good midfielder that can start for West Ham before I'm saying close that window. I won't be fully comfortable with the midfield we've got for the rest of the season, or at least till January. That would be quite worrying. Be nice if Saudis came in for Alvarez, wouldn't it? Because then you can really push them for money. You might get like 45 million then if Saudis come in. That's when you start rubbing your hands together going, all right. As much as I don't want Alvarez to go, you get 45 million from Saudi. Go on then. Right, guys, unless you've got any more interesting comments or topics you want me to cover, what we got here. We are so do I, mate. I want two midfielders in, and I want a decent striker to help them up front. Yeah, striker if I was being greedy. If I was being really greedy, Alvarez. Sean says, just jumped on as Alvarez bid come in. Has Alvarez had a bid, or are you saying that you've jumped on to say Luke has an Alvarez bid come in? Because all I've seen and all we have seen is Fabrizio Romano saying that West Ham are looking to get rid of him, and he probably will go. That's all we've seen. That's probably linked to Steiden still talking to him and stuff like that. So we'll wait and see. Anyway, guys, if no comments come in the next couple of minutes while I'm wrapping up, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much. You know, a few of us on this morning. Do read every comment. Like I say, I appreciate every comment, so I try and read every comment. Big thank you. So please hit the like button before you leave. Check you're subscribed. Hit the notification bell as well. Sorry, McAllister says, what about Basuma? I like him. Bit injury prone though. You know, does get a lot of injuries. Where's Steiden now? There were rumours that he was going to Barcelona at one point. I don't know whether that came off or not. But yeah, there were rumours that he might be going to Barcelona. I don't know whether anything come of that. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Been going for like nearly 40 minutes now. Thank you so much, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Probably after the game, and if it's not tomorrow, it'll be Sunday morning to talk about the game. Enjoy tonight's game. The Premier League's back. Enjoy West Ham. Hopefully we get off to a real flying start. You know, get a win. Get the 3 points on the board. You know, and then there's only 37 points to go to safety. That's how I think of it early doors. Like, just quicker we get to 40 points, the quicker you can relax and start thinking about things. I want the days back where we're safe by February. We're thinking about other things and hopefully trying to push on to better places. Anyway, come on you irons. Keep believing. Thank you for all the comments. Check you subscribed.